What ho, travellers, adventurers, and fellow storytellers. I am the Bardic Knock, and, well, welcome to my tavern. Pull up a chair, have a drink, and listen to my tales. Okay, so, I'm Matt Knock, the Bardic Knock, and I've been playing D&D for longer than anyone should be okay admitting, quite frankly. And I remember when I first got started, and after playing a few sessions, and I really wanted to try and be a dungeon master. Because, well, why wouldn't you? You get to make the story and tell the players what to do, and you get to hide behind your little screen and throw your secret dice. It's just a lot of fun. And I know plenty of people out there also want to try and be a dungeon master. The only problem is, how do you get started? It's okay, yes, there is a literal guide, but to someone who is either completely new to the concept or just scared, the Dungeon Master's Guide is a big looking book, and if you look at that and go, I need to learn all of that before I can tell people how to kill a dragon. So, I'm here to just give, in my opinion, a few good tips, suggestions, whatever you want to call them, for anybody who's ever thought about it, or even if you haven't, just to give it a shot. Okay, so the definite, what I would consider the most important thing to get started on crafting your story and your world and whatever it is you're doing. One thing you need to know is you need to know the genre of your game. You need to know the style you're playing it in. And this isn't genre, like music or movies. Like, no, just the basic style of play. So, okay, your bog standard fantasy affair. Sure, fine, great. This is gonna be a good series of stories, or one cohesive story in which you guide your players to go and do a great big spectacular thing. They go on a powerful quest and increase their swordsmanship and throw magic spells to conquer great evils. Sure, great, fine. It's standard, it's classic, you can't go wrong with it. If that's what you want to do it. If you're a bit more, can't even think of a word, sorry. If you're more into the depth of things, more into how everything ties together and the workings and all of that good stuff. You want to do something smart. You want to, put mysteries inside of it. You want to have a mystery wrapped in an enigma, tied up with a riddle, in which you need people to have a keen wit and a sharp mind to get through it. Fine, you know what? You do that. If that's what you want to do, you go and plan your puzzles. Or, you do some comedy. Yay! Ha 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 ha! The orc guardian rushes out of the lavatory and slips on some banana peels, and ha ha ha! We all have a good laugh. Do that. If that's what you want to do it. Great. And of course, to counter that, you've got your super serious, gritty, everything's dark and gritty, and my mum was murdered by the evil wizard, and I will get revenge, but the evil wizard is also my dad, and it's all super grit and real and grrr. Do that. If you want serious, hardcore grit, dark reality, if that's what you're into, go for it. If that's the kind of thing you like and you want to explore it, make it. Do it. And okay, and there's the kind of nondescript genre of do what you want, which is just as fun. You don't need an overarching genre. All right, in this part of the adventure, it's going to be very light-hearted, and in this part of the adventure, it's going to be serious, and so on. And you're more focused on your characters, the players, and in which case the genre is kind of slice of life. It's just, hey, let's see how they get out of this one, and that's totally fine. Don't be afraid of someone else telling you, well, that's not how to play. Like, forget them. If you want to play in a particular style, if that is the most ludicrous, comedy driven thing, do it. If it's the most serious, gritty, dark thing, do it. If you just want to do bog standard fantasy, don't listen to someone saying that's unoriginal, that's boring, you're ripping off Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. So what? If they don't like it, they don't have to play it. You have to play it, so you need to like what you're doing. Okay, so the next thing you need, you've got the style, how your world, your version of the campaign setting, whatever it is you're doing, you have how it's all going to work. Your basics, anyhow. Now you need your actual story, your plot, your why do the players do the things they do. Outside of their own personal reasons, there needs to be a thing, an event, a story to follow, a plot hook. Ha ha ha. Once again, do what you want to do. You know, do it simple. There's an evil wizard. Kill the wizard. You can present it as that. You get your friends, you sit them down, you hand out some snacks, they get out their dice, and you go, and okay, so you're all gathered together in town, and you have all heard rumors of the evil wizard Zarganoth, who resides in his tower. Like, fine, done. There's your plot. I know everyone loves the idea of these overly difficult, complicated plots, and sure, you want to do that? You do that. If you want to reenact Game of Thrones, you write up a 200-page script of dialogue and twists and turns, and that's yours. That doesn't make it better or worse or superior to someone who goes, go kill a wizard. That's fine. Do it. Obviously, just throwing out other basic ideas. Your plot can be whatever your mind thinks up, but just going to throw out suggestions for either people who have no experience, or if you just want to listen to me give you my potential campaign ideas. Okay, so you're not killing a wizard. Well, you've got to go find the amulet of holy divine power, and you need to go and retrieve it from deep within the sunken city of Ranakrak. And when you do, you can return a fruitful harvest to the poor villagers. Sure, there. Go find a magic item that helps the world. There's a plot. Done. Easy. Once again, your plot doesn't need to tick a bunch of boxes. It can be whatever you want it to be. Hell, you don't even need a full-on cohesive plot to last you 6 months of gameplay or a year of gameplay. If you want to do that, great, fine. You can do episodic plots. Weeks 1 to 7, you're gonna go find and kill the wizard. Weeks, 8 to 12, well, now you're gonna go find the amulet. Weeks 13 to 20, oh, now we're just bumbling around trying to build a farm. You can do things episodically, and the things don't even need to be connected. Especially if you're new and trying to get into this, just do what you want to do. That's pretty much the best thing I can tell you. All right. The next thing, you know how you're going to play, what you're going to play. Now you just need to make sure that your players, well, are interested in playing it. This is difficult. This is painfully difficult. The easiest thing to do with this is know your players. Know who they are, what they're interested in. If you have the luxury of knowing them quite well, they're your bestest best buddies, great, talk to them. Find out what kind of game they'd like to play. If they want to play the amazing story of retrieving the holy powerful magic sword of doom, then you play them that story. Do it how you want to, but recognize other people are playing. If you bend a little bit and give them something they want, they will return the favor and do what you want. Otherwise, you get this awful scenario in which the dungeon master and the players just butt heads, and you're sat there, ripping your own eyeballs out, going, "Come on, guys! The evil wizard is sat in his tower, cackling and planning misery." And the players are sitting there going, "But you said the barmaid's got, like, big boobs. I want to flirt with her." And, yeah. I've lost an awful lot of my life in that situation. Sitting there, wishing my players cared. Well, if you want to know how to make them care, easiest tip, do something to them. If your players are sat there flirting with the imaginary barmaid, or wondering how much money they can steal from passers-by, or this, that, and the other, and they don't care about your evil wizard, set the tavern on fire. Throw a fireball at them. Have a dragon swoop down and pick up the barmaid they're flirting with and carry it off. If you directly affect your players, if you aren't telling them not to do what they're doing, you're giving them a consequence for not reacting to the information you have given them. And that is actually quite true to real life, because I can choose to not look both ways before crossing the street, then the consequence is I get hit by a car, and that's my fault. So just throw stuff at them. Yes, this has a slight downside of you might scare them, in which case you need to be very careful about how much you do. If these are some level 1 characters and they're just sat around having a drink in the tavern, and you make a dragon swoop in, rip the roof off the tavern, and grab the barmaid and bite her head off, your level 1 players are probably too scared to react to that. You just need to guess, really, at what you think would work for them. Uh, Another good way of, in a very similar vein, just steal something from them. If you're trying to get your players to go and infiltrate a goblin camp and they instead get distracted by, I don't know, chasing a unicorn into the forest, when they go to sleep, steal from them, you know, cheat, steal from them, um, make them arbitrarily roll some kind of listen check or perception, whatever version of the game you're playing, and yeah, they'll hear the soft laughter of small creatures scurrying off into the night, and when they look, they see these creatures running off with their boots. A dedicated player will run across snow-capped mountains barefoot because the sheer audacity to steal from them is, well, it's quite literally a slap in the face for them. And it's always going to be difficult finding that balance between how the players want to play, how the dungeon master wants to play, and if I could give you a quick fix, I would. Unfortunately, you just trial and error. It's kind of all you can do. Get to know your players and work with them. Okay, so now you have the style of play, you have a story to play, and you've gotten your players interested in playing. The final hurdle, and definitely the biggest for any new dungeon master, anyone who's you know, out of practice, or you don't know the newest version of the game you're trying to play. Obviously, it's the numbers. It's these dozens of numbers and checks and scores and this and that and creating stuff and making it all fit and work, and it's terrifying. It is genuinely terrifying when you have literally dozens upon dozens of books just filled with these charts and tables, and anybody who has any sense of sanity looks at that and goes, no, thank you. For those of us who are insane and decide, no, I want to dungeon master, I want to learn the numbers, easy tip, don't learn them. Not all of them right away, just learn your basics, learn what your players can do, learn a basic number of skills. So, okay, they need to find something, so they need to make this kind of check. They need to do this, so they need to make that kind of check. And then when it comes to actually, do they succeed or fail? The numbers are just arbitrary measurements. Sorry to break the illusion, the numbers don't mean anything. 20 good, 1 bad, 10 in the middle. That's all that matters. Okay, your players come across a stream. You can whip out whichever version of a Dungeon Master's Guide or this expansion and that expansion, and they can tell you about this magical item they have which gives them this to cross, like, or you just roll a 15 and you cross it, like, done. As you progress, as you get better at playing, as you play more, you will learn how to make these things more interesting. That's fine, that's great. I vastly encourage that, because you can never hurt yourself learning more. You can hurt yourself by not wanting to learn because you're too scared, because it puts you off, because it seems like too much, and that's a very legitimate argument. So don't. get yourself hooked on dungeon mastering, get yourself hooked on storytelling, and then add in all the later information. Quite frankly, anybody who wants to turn around and tell you if you haven't memorized these numbers and that numbers and all these abilities, if they tell you if you don't know these things, then you aren't playing D&D, you aren't playing a tabletop role-playing game. Like, well, no, they're lying. They are being elitist and pedantic, and what they're really trying to say, but they can't quite bring themselves to say it, you're not playing how I play. And that, in their mind, is obviously the most offensive thing in the world. But you don't need to play how they play. You play how you play. In time, you might learn to play how they play, and that's great. Learn that. It's fantastic. If you want to devour every number and bit of information till you get to a point where you can power game and create a halfling barbarian who can decapitate a dragon in a single maneuver. Cool, you do that. That's fine. I'm not telling you that you're wrong for wanting that. I'm telling you I don't want to do that, and I don't need to know how to do that. And neither does anybody else. It's entirely optional. Well, that's pretty much all you actually need as a basic start to how do I start dungeon mastering. And yeah, obviously, agree, disagree, tell me I'm stupid, tell me you don't like my hair, whatever it is, that way. Tell me in a comment. I'll happily listen to you and probably ignore you if I think you're wrong, but I will listen. I'll read them. And yeah, like, subscribe, share the video, do what you want. I'm hoping, not hoping, I will definitely be making more of these types of videos, to help newcomers, people who haven't done it for a while, people who've just never thought about it. Hell, you can be the most experienced person in the world, and hopefully I can give you something. So I'm going to keep making these kinds of videos, for dungeon masters, for players, for all kinds of things, giving my opinions and how I feel something can be done to help you. And yeah, you'll get more of these in the future. If you have any specific things you think I should do, once again, in the comments, tell me. It'd be great. I am the Bardic Knock, and I'll see you in the next video. Travel well, adventurers.